Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is August 18th, 2025. It is so very good to see you all this beautiful and amazing Monday morning here in Austin, Texas. I hope you all had an absolutely excellent weekend. Lots to go over this Monday morning for our Monday morning touch point. Let us see exactly what is going on within our amazing city, within the Austin market. It's been an encouraging past few weeks with pendings. We took a look Friday on the number of pendings in the city of Austin and how for the month of July, we've had the single best year-over-year increase for the month of July going back 10 years. We're positive year-over-year on the daily number of pending properties. So a lot of really good news here within our market lately. Does this signify a bottoming of the market that is behind us, and now we are experiencing that slow and steady growth into a healthier market compared to the first part of the year and even possibly compared to last year? That is what we are here to do, is just to answer that question to see, is this a sustained movement that we're noticing within the market, or is this temporary and we have to keep on adjusting our expectations? Let us go ahead and get started by updating the new listing to pending ratio. I want to remind you all that this is focused within the 6-county area. That's going to be Travis, Williamson, Bastrop, Hayes, Caldwell, and Burnett counties. And what we do is we take a look at the weekly and then we take a look at the monthly. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go from the 4th to the 11th, right there, 4th to the 11th. And we're going to take a look at any pending updates from when I uploaded this information. This is going to go to 360. Let's go ahead and go backwards in time again. We're going to go from the 28th to the 4th. That's going to be 447. That doesn't change. 21 to the 28th, 509. That doesn't change. Then this is going to be 531. That doesn't change. 488. That doesn't change. Beautiful. So now we can update. Well, let me do this. Let me make sure that the active under contract does not have to be updated. This goes to 554. And let's go 1 week before this from the 28th to the 4th. This is going to be 553. Perfect. Everything is updated. We now have the latest and greatest. And you can see that 2 weeks ago, the ratio was 0.74, slightly under the previous week at 0.77. And one thing that I want to point out, take a look at the open house figure, you all. We are looking at 3,601 open houses were offered in the past 7 days. That broke the 4-week streak. We had 3,605 4 weeks ago, and then it went down. You got start of school, a lot going on. We're back to the 3,601 mark for open house. Let's start updating the number of new listings. This is going to be from the 11th all the way through this very second at 10:06 on the 18th. Keep in mind that tomorrow morning I will update all of this information with the latest and greatest. So when I email you your Tuesday morning update, it's going to have the latest and greatest new listing to pending ratio. Also, I want to remind you that we update this information every single morning so that you always have the latest information to present to your client. We are at 921 new listings over the past 7 days. Price increase 145. Whoa. What's going on here? 145 price increase. That's a big drop. We had 243 the week before, 285, 177, and all of a sudden we've got 145. How many price drops? Oh, okay. 1824. There's that 93%. Now, we're starting with a little bit of a reversal on what we've experienced over the past 2 weeks, which was a lower ratio to the number of price drops in relation to the number of price increases. That number shot back up to 93%. Last week, it was 90%. So now we've got a little bit more price drops in relation to price increases. Let's take a look at back on the market. We're at 185. That's 20%, exactly the same. Active under contract, 409. Oh, wow, 409. Okay, let's keep on going. And pending. This is where you get to guess. I need 5 guesses. I need 5 guesses. 5 of you have to go ahead and just guess how many pendings. We've got Melanie Price starting us off at 236. Seth coming in at 222. Seth, is it just me or do you do 222 like every week? I think you do. I think you do 222. We've got Harold at 250. We've got Kevin at 291. Do we have our 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more person to go ahead and just give us. We got quite a few people. We've got Leah at 346. We've got Ava at 255. We've got Violet at 212. The number comes out to 237. 237 pendings. 237 pendings. Slightly disappointing. 237 pendings. That's going to give us a 0.58 ratio. That means when this is all said and done, we're still into that 0.7, 0.75. We're going to finish at about 0.72 to 0.75. That puts us on that tangible increase in inventory, meaning that only 3 out of every 4 properties that come on the market go under contract. So you have that 25% difference on the number of properties that come on the market as opposed to go under contract. So imagine every week you've got 25% more. That's what that means. That 0.75 ratio means that every single week, 25% more listings come on the market than go under contract. So you can see what happens with inventory over time. But here is one thing that we have to understand. Real estate is a cyclical business, which means that you could have a ratio of 0.75 and yet the number of active listings on the market keeps on going down. Well, why is that? Well, because of an increase in withdrawns, people taking their homes off the market, expired listing agreements. So you've got a decrease in inventory, but then if you have a decrease in the ratio, then that answers the why. Well, why is inventory going down? Is inventory going down because people are absorbing the inventory, or is it going down simply because of attrition of inventory? Not because of absorption of inventory, attrition in inventory. And right now at a 0.75 ratio, I'm grateful that we're at a 0.75 ratio. That does mean that 3 out of every 4 properties are being absorbed by the market. But that 25%, that other 0.25 that would bring us to that perfect market equilibrium of 1, well, that is causing a stagnant active listing market where properties inventory doesn't drop as much as it should drop. And Melanie was only off by 1. Way to go, Melanie. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and compare where we are now compared to exactly 1 year ago. And you can see that it is 10:11 a.m., meaning we have another 13 hours and 49 minutes left in the day. And we only need 2 properties to beat the number of new listings for the same week last year. So do you think we're going to beat this number? Absolutely. We're going to beat it by about 30 to 40. So we're going to have 30 to 40 additional listings new on the market this week compared to exactly the same week last year. We've got 33 less price increases. I don't know who's calling me right now. We've got 33 less price increases, and we have, let me put my phone on, let's just see right here. And we have 37 more price decreases. We've got 24 less back on the market, 53 less active under contract, 265 less pending. And here we have, you all, we've got 2 weeks where we've had less properties go under contract this year compared to last year. So this momentum, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 week momentum where more properties went under contract compared to last year, that has reversed a little bit. Now, you'd be surprised to hear me say this, but you see this drop in 6, that's going to be positive. That's going to be positive, maybe positive 10, because even going all the way back to July 8th, we're still going to have agents that are going to be updating pending information from that week of July 8th. So every week we're going to add 1 or add 2 to this number. That's going to be positive. The 73, that's going to improve dramatically, but we're still going to be negative on the 73. Let's go ahead and start updating the monthly information here. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to go backwards in time. We're going to take a look at July, see if we have to update July. We do not have to update July, so let's go ahead and just start focusing the entire month of August. We're going to do new listings. That's going to be 2176. Let's take a look at price increase. That's going to be 384. Price decrease, we're looking at 4438, 92%. Good, better than the past 3 months. I'll take that. Let's take a look at back on the market. We're at 459. 21% back on the market, matches the previous month. Let's go active under contract, 1068. That's not a bad number, 1068. We had 2154 the entire month last month. We're 18 days into the month and we're at 1068. That's not bad. Now pending. Oh, okay, that's a little bit tough. What do y'all think? It's the 18th of the month. Melanie, let's see if you can guess this one and only be off by 1. Let's get 3 guesses going here. Let's get 3 guesses. How many pendings this entire month in the 6-county area? Population of what, 1.2, 1.3 million people. We've got from August 1st all the way through August 18th at 10:15 a.m. How many total pendings? We've got Kevin starting us off at 887, Seth at 917, Melanie Price at 745. I am really sorry to report that it starts with a 680. Yikes. 680 properties have gone pending in 18 days of August in the entire 6-county area. That is insane. So we've got a ratio of 0.66. Let's take a look at Withdrawn. First thing I'm going to do is update the Withdrawn. I'll go back to the closed because I use a separate screen for the closed. That's going to be 639. Let's take a look at expired. That's going to be 268. Now I can go back and take a look at the closed because I use a separate search so that I can capture not when they change the MLS, but the actual close date. This is going to be 1194. And let's see if we have to update anything for the month of July. That's going to be 2593. We may have to update something for June. Let's take a look at it. 2961. Okay, that's perfect. So let's take a look at the monthly so far. On the monthly side of things, we are up 14.3% on the number of active listings month over month, August 2025 compared to August 2024. We are down 44.7% on the number of new listings, and we are 18 days into the month. So let's just do a little calculator right here. 18 divided by, okay, we're 58% minus 1. Okay, so we're 41% into the month, but we're 47% lower on the number of new listings. So we could very well have less new listings entering the market this month compared to same month last year. On the pending side, we're 50% lower right now. On the sold side, we're 58% lower on the sold side. We've had 3 really positive months. We had May, June, and July where we outperformed last year on the number of pending transactions. As of now, doesn't look like we're going to be on the positive side for August. There needs to be a huge momentum shift that happens. And if you look behind me, the bond market is certainly not contributing to a momentum shift in rates that would cause some buyers to all of a sudden come back. but we are down 50.7% on the number of pendings compared to last year. Let's take a look at a few more things. We're going to go down here and we're going to click on Austin Daily Briefing. We're going to take a look at the daily briefing for the day. And let's take a look at rates also to see what is going on with rates. Last week was a really important week for rates. We're going to take a look at the economic calendar. The good news on rates, you all, is that we have noticed a little bit of an improvement. Right now we are at, let me go ahead and just pull this up, 6.625. We're at 6 1/8 for FHA and USDA, 6 1/4 for VA. But the good news is that we're 6.625 on 30-year conventional. So I'm very grateful for that. And really quick, I'm going to take a look at the economic calendar for the week before we dive into the daily stats. We've got the National Association of Home Builders Home Market or Housing Market Index. Now that they've released the Housing Market Index, I will be able to update the home buyer walkthrough traffic. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and just pull up that information for you all. It's going to be on table number 3. So when I click on table number 3, it's going to be one of the components on table number 3. And here's that big spreadsheet. And this is going to be the traffic of prospective buyers. This is the only information I care about. And there's the good news right there. This goes up from 20 to 22. 22 is going to be the highest reading going all the way back to a few months ago. This is what? All the way back to June. So that's good news. Good news is that we did notice a little bit of a rebound up to 22. Still historically very low. We have to go all the way back to 2011 to get traffic from prospective buyers to be lower than what currently is right now. Now that this information has been updated, when you go to Insight and Statistics, you can scroll down and you can go to the MBA, the Mortgage Bankers Association Home Price Index. And the last few pages of the Home Price Index is going to be the Wells Fargo Housing Market Index, traffic of prospective buyers. Now that we've got that figure 22, I will update this later on today so that you've got access to the latest and greatest. But that's how you find the information. That information was just released, just published. And you can see we're still really record low territory going all the way back to 2008, all the way through 2011. But a slight improvement. We could even say a 10% improvement. It went from 20 to 22. So you've got a 10% improvement in home buyer traffic for new construction. I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. Let's see what else is going to happen this week. We've got building permits out tomorrow. We've got mortgage applications on Wednesday. We've got a big bond auction, a 20-year bond auction. We've got the Federal Open Market Committee, the FOMC, the meeting minutes. Those are the true people in charge of our country. Doesn't matter who we vote for. That's who really is in charge. Oh, we've got Jackson Hole Symposium. We've got some Philadelphia data. We've got the U.S. leading index, existing home sales. That's going to be important. Yeah, Jackson Hole's happening this week, so that's going to be important. Then we've got some commodity data, but the big one is going to be Friday. Chairman Jerome Powell, I refer to him as our dear leader. So he's going to speak on Friday at 9 a.m. So we'll just wait to see exactly what our dear leader has to say. Friday at 9 a.m. We will be able to talk about it on Friday at 10 a.m. during our team meeting. Now, it shouldn't be the most consequential week for rates up until Jerome speaks and up until some of the Fed members, whether it's Bostic or a few other Fed members, they're going to be speaking this week. Otherwise, it shouldn't be the most consequential week for rates. Let's take a look at next week. Next week should be the same. We've got new home sales. Next week is going to be more reflective, meaning they're going to go over a lot of lagging market indicators. The Standard & Poor's Home Price Index, that's where we update the top 40 cities along with the National Market Index. That's going to be released on Tuesday, August 26th. And by the time they release that data, it's a whole different market. They are always 2 months behind, and they use the average of the previous 3 months. So it's a 6 to 9 month lagging indicator. That's why we rely on leading market indicators. So this week is not going to be the most consequential week for real estate data. We've got some real estate news coming out. More so, it's going to be next week. You've got the Case-Shiller, Standard & Poor's Home Price Index. Everyone takes a look at that. It makes the headlines. You've got inflation data. You've got GDP data. You've got Michigan 5-year inflation, consumer conditions. So all of that's going to happen next week. So really important week next week. This week, not the biggest one. Next week, hugely important. And of course, we will keep you updated with all of that. Let's take a look at the daily market update. Today is, as you can see, Monday, August 18th. And there are 17,528 active listings currently in the market. We are currently 59% of all active listings, one price drop, and we are currently at 15.4% increase year over year on the number of active listings. We have reached a record high on the number of new listings that have entered the market. We are already up 1.8% cumulative, everything that's come on the market compared to last year. Last year was a record high, a 25-year record high. We went ahead and beat last year already, and the month is not over. We've got, 12, 13 days left in the month. Here's the good news, and this is something that we ought to be rejoicing and celebrating. It's the number of pending listings. We are currently at 4,252. This same day last year, we were slightly over 4,000. We're at 4,077. So we've got 4.3% more pending listings today than we did exactly the same day last year. That is awesome. So not only do we have a sustained day over day over day positive side on the pending, but that difference is getting wider. If you take a look at our previous daily updates, we were plus 1%, then plus 2, then plus 3. Now we're plus 4.3%. That is the best reading of the entire year. We've got the highest year over year pending increase for the entire year of 2025. And that is great news. On the cumulative pending, because the first part of the year was so brutal all the way up to the last week of April, we're still negative on the cumulative side of things. But the good news is that we've got enough days left in the year that we could very well bridge this 7.4% gap, and we just get right in line with the past 2 years. On the activity index side of things, we are now off by only 7.7%. We are at 19.5% activity index. That's going to be the pending divided by the active plus the pending. And that's going to show us out of everything that could go under contract, what is currently under contract. 25% is going to give us that neutral market. Under 20% is going to be on the cooler side of things. Over 35% is going to be on the hotter side of things. So the fact that we're 19.5 is on the cooler side of things. But the good news is that we're no longer going down. We just hit that low in July, and we just been bouncing up and down that 19.1 to 19.7. We're at 19.5 right now. On the resale, we're at 16.54. On new construction, we're at 27.48. Now, take a look at the top cities with the highest activity index. We've got Manchac, Kyle, Lockhart, Buda, Jarrow, and then there's a big drop-off. Of course, you've got Manchac right there. I mean, whatever Manchac is, everything's under contract, just about. Then you've got Kyle, 31.6, 31.4 Lockhart, Buda slightly under, Gerald slightly under, a really big drop off, and then you've got this plateau, and then another big drop off all the way down to the Spicewood and Smithville. Lago Vista is improving. That's good news. We're at 11.2. Hutto, where is Hutto? Hutto is, where is Hutto? Oh, yeah, Hutto just dropped 18.9. You're absolutely right, Melanie. Really, really good insight right there. I'm glad you pointed that out. Hutto all of a sudden is under the average and under the mean. The new listing to pending ratio currently at a 0.65. There you have it. The monthly 0.65. The cumulative difference between new listings and pending listings were just shy of 7,000. And the ratio for the entire year is at a 0.69. Months of inventory right now, we are at 6.26 months of inventory, 16.2% higher than we were last year. And you can see that we've got Burnett at over 11, Dale, Smithville, Spicewood, all over 11. You've got Lago Vista at 10.26. And then a big drop off down to Marble Falls at 8.21. Cedar Creek, another big drop off. Lakeway, Bastrop, Liberty Hill. And you can just see the list. And you've got Buda at 3.5, Manchac at only 2.55. When you look at the difference in inventory year to date and year over year, you can see that Manchac is down 30.9% inventory year over year. Year to date, 54.7%. Cedar Park continues to lead the pack on the year to date increase in inventory at 104.2. And we are projecting that roughly 2,590 properties will sell this month. That is what our projection right now is giving us, is right around 2,600 properties selling. That does mean that we are still lagging last year's sales when you look at the cumulative sold per 100,000 people. So far, we're down 7.6%. And when you look at the number of realtors, we're exactly where we were last year. We're only down by 1.1%. We were up by 1.3% the year before. So we've got 3 years in a row where we're just right at the 1,100 mark, 1,100 properties sold per 1,000 realtors from January through August. Not this month. No, not this month. From January through August, roughly 1,100 homes sold for every 1,000 realtors. That's 1.1 homes per realtor. Just crazy, which is why we're starting to see membership drop. So, hey, you all, bottom line, you got to get your unfair share. That's really the bottom line. Plenty of business to go out. You've got 4,000 properties going under contract on a weekly basis. On a monthly basis. There's plenty of business out there, but you've got to get your unfair share. Pricing. Let's talk about pricing. The average sold price right now is $605,856. And let's take a look at the median price. The median price is $455,000. We do have a question. When do you update the number of realtors? Once a month, right? Every morning, every single morning, I do a snapshot on the number of realtors. Every single morning, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, while you all are getting your deep sleep, your REM, having sweet dreams. I am not, because I hate sleep. Sleep is terrible, so I'd rather not. I will definitely show you the number of realtors. When you look at the median sold price compared to 3 years ago, we are down 8.3. And let's keep on going. The average sold price so far this year is $575,352. That is up 1.4%. On the median side, we are down a little bit. Let's take a look really quick at the percentile analysis, the high versus low, bottom versus top 25th percentile. Bottom 25th percentile, we are down 0.7% on the price, 4% on the price per foot. And there's that bifurcated market right there. You've got 3.4% gain in price over the past 30 days compared to the same period last year on the price for the top 25th percentile, meaning the starting price of the top 25th percentile. This is what this means. Out of the 2,579 properties that sold over the past 30 days, the top 25th percentile starts at $655,000, meaning 25% of the 2,579. 25% are priced over 655,000, and that price is 3.4% higher than the same block, the 25th percentile and over, last year. So that means that the top end of the market is appreciating at a higher rate than the bottom end of the market, which is depreciating. We have deflation on the bottom end of the market. We've got disinflation on the top end of the market. I wonder if price per foot is only down due to size of home selling. That's a very good point. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Let's take a look at the number of realtors. A request from the amazing Melanie Price. We're going to go to Insight in Statistics. We're going to go down to, let's go ahead and find this information. That is going to be right here, sales density. We're going to find that in sales density. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you all. And we're going to scroll down. I passed it. And here we have it. Number of realtors. There we have it. As of this morning, 18,887. 18,887, which is less than Friday, more than last month, but less than Friday. But more than last month, but less than Friday. We peaked at 20,899. We are down 11.23, less than 4 years ago. Well, let's take a look at it. It's a very good point. Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah, way less than 4 years ago. 4 years ago, we were at 20. I mean, we peaked back in 2022 at 21,276, Seth. Take a look at that. And 4 years ago, 20,899. And here we've got that 18,887. And when do we see big drop-offs? We're going to see a big drop-off in October. Oh, less than 2021? Oh, wow. You know what? Take a look at that. You're absolutely right. Yeah, good point. Glad you brought that up. Look at that, 19,093. So we just wiped away less than 2021. That's just crazy. And we're going to have a big drop-off right there, October. That's when you see that big drop-off. Lowest since COVID rush. When did COVID happen? I don't even know when COVID happened. When did COVID happen? I blocked off my mind. Okay, so March of 2020. Yeah, there's March 2020. Yeah, we're at 15,618. Pretty crazy. There's that big run-up right there, the big COVID run-up. Everyone got into real estate. They had all that free time. And, of course, number of sold properties per 1,000 realtors, we are expecting 137. It's going to be, when you compare it for the number of realtors, a little bit on the slow side of things. But pendings are improving, so I'm going to focus on that. Any other questions, you all? Any other questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, or complaints? Any other questions? Market questions, rates, dates, mates. Any other questions? Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, or complaints? Going once. Going twice. Okay, sold. Well, you all, if there are no questions, we did our complete market overview. There's really no point of us wasting time. I know that you all are busy, and we've got lots going on. We've got lots going on right now. I know that you all are super busy, so no reason for us just to hang around when all the questions are answered. Hope you have an absolutely excellent rest of your day. Be sure to join us on Wednesday for our broker Q&A contract review training. And then we are having our Friday meeting Friday. So be sure to join us for that. Otherwise, have an absolutely amazing rest of your day. Thank you, Melanie, for the encouragement. Super appreciated. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Alex. And thank you all so very much for joining. Alex, Hanai, Anibo, Ava, Joe, John D, Catherine, Kevin, Kristen, Leah, Luis, Manny, Mark, Monica, Renee, Rowan, Seth, Charmine, Steve, and we've got Yamila, Violet, and Zoom user, which is either Aaron or Oliver. So I'm just going to say thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you all so much for joining. I will upload this recording shortly. Have an amazing rest of your day. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time.